If you're just joining in, the conversation tonight is about the minimum wage. Yes, it looks like we're in that moment of celebration, complete celebration, regarding how things can be in the days ahead. Yes, the president has signed it, the president has even given charge. But even on that sideline, the likes of the TUC is commenting, saying, well, at a very critical time where everything in the economy seems to be a little bit difficult to buy or for it to be affordable, some other people are using market forces to increase the prices of the regular goods everyone buys. But if that's just one of the driving points, does anybody remember that moment when the minimum wage of 18,000 naira was declared, and shortly after the governors started to say their own various perspectives as regards if they can pay or they cannot pay? Well, at the time, it was a struggle. Even today, with the 30,000 naira, I can tell you there's a little bit of background into why some governor, the Governors Forum, the Joint Governors Forum, one of their publications regarding the 30,000 naira minimum wage. Can they be bullied? Will they be bullied? Should they be bullied? Or what can be done? Let's get started back into the conversation tonight. Now, let's go back now to what the Governors Forum is saying, in fact, recently, about the 30,000 naira minimum wage. So we all get to know how things should be in this regard, yeah? Okay, so the head of the Media and Public Affairs Department of the Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, Abdulrazak Bello Bakindo, says governors will not be bullied into accepting the 30,000 naira new minimum wage. Remember, I am reading from their own websites now, the nggovernorsforum.org. Bello Bakindo said this on live television program on Wednesday, accusing the organized labor of always demanding for more money every election period. The Tripartite Committee for the Review of the National Minimum Wage submitted its report to President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday, recommending, okay, so this story is before the 30,000 naira minimum wage. Now, it goes on to say what the spokesman said at the time. It was only interesting to know if they would change their position, but what he said at the time was the governors are going to do the rational thing, but they are not going to hearken to being bullied and being told what to do or what not to do just because Labour said so. I challenge Labour to tell me how many people that have been sacked from their jobs that are on their payroll. They are taking care of their families, healthcare issues, taking care of their children's school fees, and helping people to live a normal life after being sacked. Corruption in this country is existing because Labour has not found a formula to keep people secure in their jobs and out of it. Whenever they, that's the organized labor, make accusations against governors, I just laugh, because there are people who don't even think beyond going on strike. They don't think beyond asking for more money, and this is ridiculous. Well, many of you remember that the Governors Forum, chairman of the Governors Forum at the time, Abdulaziz Yari, I don't even know if it's still the same one, but when there was a talk about the minimum wage being increased past 18,000 naira to 22,500, with just an increase of 4,500, even then the federal government rejected the idea. Well, Yari explained that some states were going to find it difficult to pay their workers' salaries at 18,000 naira, and some who would even pay would pay 35 to 50% of salaries at the time. So he explained that it's going to be a problem of capacity. Now we've moved past that, but then the big question is, at this point in time, where it is now 30,000 naira. Remember, minimum wage was moved not so long ago, was it? I'm going to check up on the date on when it was moved. But then, from the time it was moved till now, have the governors been able to pay at the state level? And now, will they be able to pay 30,000 minimum wage? Are there innovative ways around this that would encourage them to pay this minimum wage? Of the president, for it to come public in that regard, there's still much story following that. And the Emir Sanusi also made it clear that political elites have destroyed Nigeria, and says one part of the mouth want to talk about restructuring, and another part we are not so sure if that's what we want to get done. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, good evening.
Yes, good evening to you.
Thank you. Good evening.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. My name is Austin.
All right, Austin, welcome. Yes,
Every day.
Yes.
Thank you. For hearing me. But I don't know if they propose it from your side or from our side, but you're hearing me anyway. What I'm trying to say is that, remedy. You see, let me start from society's comments. Those who are for the structure and those who are against it. Only them know why they are against it. But if you watch now, those who are advocating for it are no longer talking about it. They are now silent. And I think I agree with them. I think they are advised to, for a while to just keep short. Because when they really start beating, it will not beat the person that are advocated for it. Even those that are rejected it. You remember when Zamfara came, Zamfara, or
you mean the governor's forum there? You mean the governor's? Okay. No, I was trying to help you out with the name, but go ahead.
One of these governors now, I think that of Bruno, said restructuring my feet.
Shetima? Do you mean Shetima?
Okay, Shetima. Restructuring my foot. Now, minimum wage state to not pay. So what I'm trying to tell you is that it will get to the point where if we continue with this system, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
It will be difficult for Nigerians to cope. Because I don't see how we continue to do the things the way we are doing it and expect improvements. So now what? You listen to Ben Cruz. I heard him on the AMP and he was talking about electric car, and he said that he is even using one. I don't know why people who have vision for this country are not allowed to come into power. And I thank some of my people from the south or whatever who have been advocating for this solution of power and the other things, the system of government we are running today. This system gives a very big room for corruption and impunity. This is reality. So by the time the rain starts teaching about, Sanusi will come out plainly and tell us the reason why it will not, maybe the corner against the solution of power. From this your station, we learned once upon a time that Nigeria loses 4 trillion naira annually on mining. 4 trillion. Where are that money going to? Where are that money going to? If not this recent crisis in Zamfara. How many of us know that gold are mining in Zamfara? We are not being sincere. We are not being sincere. Some people are not being sincere to themselves and to the country. So let's things continue the way they are. And coming to the minimum wage, please, I want Nigeria to pay for it. You should know how much things are sold today in the market before they begin to take the salary of 30,000. Because according to the market already, Shimo used to buy 250, 270 like an inflation. They're not able to go up to that.
I would have to ask you to start to round up now.
Yeah, I'm rounding up, my brother. The last I bought was 350. Now I bought it 400 from this man. We should know this, how much things are now in the market before they begin to receive this minimum wage. Because once they begin to receive this minimum wage and people begin to buy things, they will not know when things are beginning to increase.
Let's leave it there with you. Thank you so much for thank you. All right. Well, meanwhile, there was an event where most of the governors were also speaking about how they intend to generate new revenue. They talked about how the country's finances are dwindled and gone up and down, and how it's picking up over again. Let me walk you through a little bit of that. Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed said, as we are all aware, there exists an intrinsic linear between taxation, public welfare, and good governance. A government's capacity to enhance general well-being and provide other indices of good governance is directly related to its ability to muster adequate resources to meet its obligations. No state or nation can cope to prosper without a robust taxation system to prosper, even revenue to fund recurrent expenditure before orientated program on critical public infrastructure. What else now? Now, there was also what the state governor, Godwin Obaseki, said. He said, when you build roads, schools, hospitals, things that aid and enable businesses, you begin to see economic growth. And as people do well, income goes up and businesses grow. Then you have a basis to levy taxes, which you will now have to improve upon. All right, so Kaduna governor said, the minimum wage should be done by each state according to its level of income. He said, contending that personal income tax should be collected by the state. He stressed that the need to make adjustments to the constitution so that some items can be removed from the legislative list. He said, responding on personal income tax, said, I agree with you completely that in a federation there should be taxes. They are national, while there are some that are subnational. But if you look at our history, we will see that we come from civilian military regimes. And many of these personal income tax acts were done by the military. Just like, for instance, I do not agree that the national minimum wage should be done under the federation. I think the minimum wage should be done by each state according to the level of income. And if you look at the 1963 Constitution, minimum wage was not in the inclusive list. It was during the military rule. There are a number of laws that were enacted during the military rule, and there is a need to look at them and do something about them. That's according to the governor of Kaduna State, saying it should be by state and not at the federal level. Welcome to the show. Good evening, sir.
I do believe the structural.
Let's start with your name, sir, please.
Okay, my name is William calling back.
All right, let's hear you.
It's where we have to structure every sector how we structure this country. It affects how this country moves forward. Because as country union-wide, from geopolitical side of the country will be making revenue to trade the other side of the countryside, and the other side will mining illegal mining. But I don't know how far that will exist. Some billions of naira illegally have been mined without no contribution to the national cover. And you say that we are not going to restructure the country? Nowhere. I said nowhere. Some people would leave. Those who say that the country will not be restructured, they would leave. People like us, we will need to see that the country will be restructured. Because as long as I'm concerned that I'm living in this country, that I'm from the citizen of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Nigeria will be restructured. Whether they like it or not, because are we crying about revenue? Are we crying about state people they want to meet the responsibility how to take care of the citizens there between the states? Simply because we are not really truly being sincere to ourselves. It is simple logic. Economically, as a capitalist nation, we have to be moving from one case that we don't have to look at how one revenue will come from one particular set of region to be able to feed the entire nation, and the other side of the country instead of being mining illegally for I don't know how long that will continue. And by the end of the day, we say we don't have to be restructuring. No way.
All right.
The country doesn't move that way. So if you want to move this country to where we want this country to move forward, and the truth is, look at this one. Millions of Nigerians who want to go to Canada. Now, Canada embassy now says, listen, we don't want Nigeria to come to, and in fact, there's an embargo against Canada that is being good. I mean, the green passport now, in the near future, God forbid, could be so scrutinized by the West, simply because Nigeria are moving as immigrants. I'm trying to, I don't know, by the end of it's so unfortunate. And by the end of the day, they say, Nigeria is weak. And some few pocket churches, I don't know how to describe them.
I understand you, there's more you want to say, but let's leave it there with you because of other people are waiting. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Let's move on. Thank you very much.
Thank you to you as well. Okay, so let's give this phone line a try. Yes, good evening to you. Good evening to you.
Hello, good evening.
How are you today, sir?
Fine, thank you.
All right then. What's your name?
My name is Paul. I'm calling from Maraba.
Tola from Maraba. Yes.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Yes, I'm really happy to get you tonight.
I'm glad you did.
Sincerely speaking, there is a particular caller that always paints a negative picture in everything.
I understand you may have, but the comments are not about the callers. I would love for you to talk about your comments about the discussion. We really don't.
Yes, the minimum wage is a welcome development.
Okay, yes.
I think what I expect is that somebody should make a suggestion of what government should do, like trying to control price of things and some palliative, so that the money that is going to be given to workers will not be in vain. That's the kind of thing I expect, not somebody condemning everything all the time. That is just my submission.
Right. Yeah. Many thanks to you as well. Very interesting perspective. It can't all be wrong all the time. Welcome to the show.
Hello?
Yes, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Yes.
Penny?
Yes, how are you, sir?
I'm fine.
All right then.
This is Malam Hamza from Seja.
Okay. Malam Hamza, just reduce your radio, step away from it.
Sir. Okay, sir. Let me do that. Hello, sir.
Yes, I'm with you.
Can you hear me now?
Very well.
Okay, sir. Sir, life, one life, and life. Our governors should not come and tell us anything. With all due respect, our governors should respect themselves. My brother, even 30,000 naira is not enough. We know the situation of things in this country today. We all know the cost of living in Nigeria today. If I may be permitted to ask this question, what is happening to all the taxes being generated by the government? Even the Mebaro inside our markets are buying tickets being taxed to the local and state government. Okada riders are paying tax, buying tickets to most Nigerian towns. And what is happening to the billions being generated from the crude oil sector? The oil sector, I mean in general. What is happening to the money being generated from the Nigerian oil on daily basis? Where's that money? And government should also have other means of income generation that I may not be aware. My brother, every year we listen to the Nigerian government read out budget in trillions of naira. But you will never see the impact of this bogus white elephant budget announcement in the lives of the ordinary Nigerians on the street. Nigerians are jobless, they are hungry, they are frustrated. These are one of the best brains in the world. Nigerians are one of the most educated in the world. But our leaders and our government and the government policy has become a tool that is being used to frustrate the ordinary Nigerians. Nobody is ordinary. We are not ordinary. We are also as important as the so-called leaders, because some of us are even more educated than some of them. But look at the way they are frustrating our lives, for Allah's sake. The money that is being used to run the government should be cut down. Governors going about in flamboyant SUVs of not less than 20 motorcades should reduce it to 5. And the big mansions they live in, they should cut down the amount they are spending on those bogus mountains that are not, mansions that are not useful to Nigerians. And it should cut down the number of their aides, unnecessary aides that are not doing anything. Aides that are being appointed in the name of favoritism. And today, Nigerian government is telling us that some state government in Nigeria, as even the state governors, are telling us that they cannot be ordinary Nigerians just 30,000 naira minimum, which is not even enough. You understand? My brother, Nigerians should open their eyes. Wallahi, I will never reduce myself to just being a northerner.
Okay.
I'm a Nigerian. And every Nigerian is a mother, a father, a brother, and a sister, a son, and a daughter to me.
All right. Let's leave it there with you.
Finally, sir.
Yes,
finally, sir. Nigeria has money. Politicians must pay this 30,000 naira. They don't care how they get the money. They should pay us. There is money in this country. They must pay. They must pay Nigerian workers. That's more 30,000 too. So, thank you, sir. God bless Nigeria.
Amen. God bless you too.